Should you buy cannabis stocks right now?
There's some huge news that will have some massive implications on the entire industry.
Welcome to the Bean Pod. This is your place for all things stocks and crypto. From beginner tips to expert picks. Use this as fuel for your investing journey, because when you're in the know, your money will grow.
The Bean Pod is presented by DAOmaker, the top crypto launchpad in the industry.
DAOmaker allows people to participate in top crypto projects before they launch and generate some of the best returns you can find anywhere.
They also provide growth solutions for crypto projects that are looking for funding and assistance with marketing.
With their revolutionary new public strongholder offerings, everyone can get early access to top crypto projects regardless of their net worth.
DAOmaker is rapidly disrupting the venture capital industry. If you're interested, head over to DAOmaker.com to learn more.
Welcome to the Bean Pod. This is Shane, aka the Jolly Green Investor.
And this is Josh, the Nifty Investor.
Today, we're going to be talking about cannabis stocks and should you buy them now?
There's some massive news happening right now that could have some massive implications on the entire sector. We're talking MORE Act. We're talking SAFE Act. What's going to happen to pot stocks moving forward?
So there's some important legislation that is going to have a huge impact on all of the names in the sector, which is going through the House and the Senate right now. So we're going to talk about what's the deal with this bill? Why is it important? And is this going to move stocks up or down? And at the end, we'll basically say, should we buy these stocks, right?
That's right. Okay, so let's jump right into it here. We have the MORE Act, right? And we also have the SAFE Act. The MORE Act is about decriminalizing marijuana at the federal level.
Yep.
And the SAFE Act is to allow banking to these entities that currently don't have access to banking. They're dealing with all in cash right now, right?
Yeah. So the MORE Act would be your high level. We want to legalize cannabis for the United States of America. And if this gets through, this is massive. Mm-hmm. Because what you're seeing right now is a lot of these American companies and the stocks. First of all, the stocks can't get on the NASDAQ because it's federally illegal. The companies can't get access to banking, anything, because it's still federally illegal. So they're kind of on their own islands, right?
Yeah.
So the MORE Act would be a one swift whoosh, and everything's legal. Access to the banks, the stocks can go to the NASDAQ. These things would absolutely rip, right?
I would love to see the MORE Act pass. Not even for the stocks. This is more just on a personal level, because I think it's absolutely insane that you have companies right now selling billions of dollars worth of cannabis. It's legalized to some capacity, whether it's recreational or medical, in all but 3 states in the entire US. But at a federal level, it's still illegal and still listed up there with cocaine and heroin and as a Schedule 1 drug.
It's silly.
This is ridiculous. Let's pass this already, you know?
Yep.
So just from a personal standpoint, I think if we could get the SAFE Act across, that's when you can see some institutional money start pouring in, and that would be a huge catalyst for these pot stocks.
Right. So the MORE Act is the top one where it legalizes cannabis completely.
Yeah.
But the backup plan is the SAFE Act. And what'll that do? So that's about the banks, right? It gives the American cannabis companies access to banks so they can store their cash, get loans, get access to the financial system, and just become much more secure for investors, right?
Yeah. So I was actually looking into the taxes side of things, and I didn't know about this. And it's really counterintuitive to what I was thinking. It's like, okay, pass the SAFE Act, and then you're going to have all these tax dollars pouring into the government. Why are they not just passing this already? Well, here's why. Because these companies deal in cash and they're technically dealing with an illegal Schedule 1 drug, they don't have access to banking. They're not allowed to do certain tax write-offs. They're not allowed to declare certain things on their spreadsheets to offset just how much money's coming in, right? So, for example, I was looking at TrueLeave. They're unable to deduct $150 million from their bottom line because they don't have special permissions because they're dealing with an illegal drug.
Right. So maybe it's not a taxation play because they're already getting these taxes because they can't write things off. So the government is still coming out on top. So maybe the incentive there isn't to generate more taxes because as it is, they're doing all right.
Yeah. So they generated $10 billion in taxes thus far But again, because they're exempt from the tax write-offs, because it's still legal at the federal level, that $10 billion, if these companies could, would look more like $8 billion.
Right.
So they're losing money by actually having the SAFE Act implemented.
So maybe they don't want it in.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So right now they're trying to push the MORE Act through the House, where it will probably get approved. And that's always just like this weird, oh, it's approved, yay. But then it goes to the Senate where it always gets denied, right?
Dead on arrival for sure. And I don't know if it's ever actually made it to the Senate floor. And the numbers needed, so there's 100 members in the Senate. They need 60 votes in the Senate to pass it. 50% of the Republicans are in favor of eliminating prohibition. So there's 50 Republicans. So 25 of them currently agree with it. So we only have 25 of the 60. So let's say we have if we get all the Democrats, which we don't, because 6 of them still are opposed to it.
Right.
So even if it gets there, there's still such a fine line of the Democrats even getting it through.
Yeah, so it's not looking super good there, right?
Even if it gets there, no, they're still kind of like on the fence, and there's some Democrats who are still flipping back, and then you're going to lose some of the Republicans from the previous time as well. So it's like right on the verge of 60. And I was looking at some of these amendments that the Democrats are trying to put through, and it's just like, man, this thing's just going to get delayed again.
Yeah, so we can basically effectively say the MORE Act will be denied, but the backup plan is the SAFE Act, right? And I think a lot of these cannabis investors are kind of holding on to the SAFE Act because it doesn't need for cannabis to be federally legal. It's just about the banks. And they harp on about the banks. We need access to the banks because that will allow more institutional money to flow into these stocks. It's all about the stocks. They want the stocks to go up, right? So what are the chances of the SAFE Act being approved this year, right? It's higher than the MORE Act for sure, because that's basically zero.
Right.
From the research that I did, it seems like they're potentially looking at the second half of 2022 as a time where bullish momentum for the SAFE Act could start.
You know why that makes sense is because the Democrats and Biden are going to lose this election, I think, coming up, the midterms. So they're going to keep this in their back pocket to gain votes from the younger generation, the ones who are actually want this to go through. So you're going to have Schumer and you're going to have Biden and all the Democrats all of a sudden say, hey, don't forget, we're really trying to legalize marijuana here. They said that before the last election. They haven't done fucking shit.
Haven't done shit, right?
And they're not going to do anything again.
I agree 100%. We're in a midterm year, and then the next election's in 2 years. I think they're going to be using potential cannabis legislation. And what you said, so Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, he's got this comprehensive Cannabis Opportunity and Administration Act. So this is, bringing these things forward. I think 100% they're going to use this as a political ploy to get votes. And I think if you're trading these stocks, this is something you look at as a bullish catalyst. It may not happen, but as we always say in the show, buy the rumor, sell the news.
That's right.
So if these rumors start to come out that Schumer is working with Biden and they're going to put this in their potential, election plan, that's a bullish catalyst.
Or is it already priced in that they know that it's not going to go through?
It's a tough one.
It's tricky.
It's a tricky one. There's never an easy answer in investing.
No.
But if you're looking into the silver linings
sure.
of a potential bullish catalyst for the cannabis stock sector, that's it, right?
Yeah.
It's the voting thing. And then even keep in mind for the 2024 election, they're probably going to lose. Trump's going to win, surely, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, when that comes around and they bring this cannabis shit up, that's a potential bullish catalyst in 2024 as well. So these are the things, if you're an investor that's always looking at one sector, like I'm always investing in cannabis or psychedelics or metaverse, whatever it is, these are the things that come around every cycle, every year, every couple of years, you need to keep your eye on because these are by the rumor events. And you can see a name like a Tilray or a Sundial doing a 5X and then coming right back down. A Sundial will go from 1 to 5, Tilray will go from 8 to 50. And then as soon as people realize that it's not going to happen, it bombs back down.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd name like a Tilray or a Sundial. Those are trading stocks, right?
Yeah,
those
definitely.
aren't long terms.
No, those are ones that those are the meme stocks.
They're the hype stocks.
They're the ones that they're brand name, household stocks that you can trade, and they go up fucking two.
Everybody loves a meme stock. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I fucking love it. I think one of the only stocks in the marijuana sector that I would hold, and I do hold, is Trulieve.
Right.
Strictly just based off of their metrics in comparison to a number of the other competitors in the space, the other big name competitors like Green Thumb Industries, Verano, Curaleaf. Those are like the big 4 companies in the space.
So these are the US based.
These are US based,
multi-state operating
that's
companies.
Right. These are massive conglomerates.
So when you're looking at cannabis stocks, you have your Canopy Growth, you have your Aurora, Tilray. These are Canadian-based companies. That's why they're allowed to be in the NASDAQ. But what Josh was talking about, the Trulieve, the Curaleaf, the Green Thumb, these are the American counterparts that, because it's still federally illegal, they're on the OTC market. Yeah. So they don't have access to all that capital. That's why they're still trading at discounted market caps. But why do you like Trulieve over Curaleaf or Green Thumb?
I just really like, the revenue is super high. They have super high net income. Their operating profits are higher. Their gross profits are higher. They did it really smart. Okay. So they started in Florida, one state, and everybody's like, oh man, these guys are not doing it right. They need to be a multi-state operator. Well, guess what? A few years later, they now operate in 11 states. So what a lot of these companies did at the very beginning is they did massive land grabs, right? They spread themselves thin, and then they had these predatory loans at like 15, 18%. They couldn't pay them back because they're dealing with so much legal headwind, workarounds. They lost so much money on these loans. That happened to Ianthus. They defaulted on their loan payments.
Right.
Trulieve, the way it's been set up, they're actually getting really preferred rates now, like 8% for their loans. So now they can keep expanding quicker, which is what we're seeing. They started in Florida. Now they're in 11 states. They're getting these favorable loans where all these other guys got stuck with these shitty loans, which is really causing them to have to halt their growth a little bit.
I like that. I like the slow and steady approach. And we discussed this on our first pot stock episode, which if you're interested in the sector, go have a look and watch. It's the slow and steady growth that the United States MSOS operators are doing state by state, brick by brick, that I think is going to allow them to achieve long-term success. When you look at the failures of Canopy Growth, of Aurora, of Tilray, Afri, all these companies that they've never generated a profit. They're just hemorrhaging money every year. It's because Canada went from illegal to legal like that, and these things expanded like crazy. They were growing weed out the yin-yang, and the logistics, the distribution, it wasn't set up right. You can't go from zero to hero right away. In an industry like that with a living plant, there was weed rotting. It was just a complete fucking failure.
They screwed it up. They screwed it around.
So I like the slow and steady approach of the U.S. I think it sets them up for long-term success as opposed to the way that Canada, and we really
everybody spread themselves too thin.
Really fumbled that one, us Canadians. We really did.
Christ,
You'd think the Canadians with the weed, we would have got something right, but we really fucked that one.
Hey, another reason I like Trulieve, just to hammer home this last point, is that they're going to have recreational legalization. They're anticipated for 2024.
Okay, cool.
They're expecting business to double from this legalization.
I like that.
That is set to occur. And, Kim Rivers or whatever, the CEO of Trulieve.
Yep.
I'm sure she's got her fingers in some pockets down there,
No, I like it. In terms of American companies, I would really only look at Trulieve or Curaleaf. Yeah. Those are the two names that I always trade in when I'm looking at MSOS. But if you're looking at these bullish catalysts, if you want to invest in the cannabis space, you're looking at the potential, the midterms or the legislation coming through. Unfortunately, these U.S. names, they don't run. Because they're not on NASDAQ, they're not on Robinhood. They don't get these meme stock hypey plays because most of your retail investors don't trade OTC. Their apps don't have access to the OTC. So if Biden comes and says, yeah, we're going to be putting it on the ballot, Trulieve's not going to run. Even though they are the ones that will benefit in real life. Their revenue will go up if that bill gets passed. Yeah. No, it's going to be Tilray.
Yeah.
They don't even have it in a fake company. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just drawing.
Yeah. So Tilray is going to run. So that's just one thing to keep in mind.
100%.
If you're trading these stocks, look at Sundial, look at Tilray, Canopy Growth. But if you're a long-term investor and you think cannabis is going to become legal or decriminalized in the States, and you can park that money in there for 10 years, it's Curaleaf, it's Trulieve,
GTI, Green Thumbs, right? Yeah, for sure.
There's another gem that you were talking about for the cannabis stocks, right?
Yeah, Bright Green Corp. It's anticipated to trade under the ticker BGXX. It's a cannabis manufacturing and cultivation site. Basically, they filed last week for the NASDAQ, which is interesting because anybody right now knows they're not going to get listed on the NASDAQ. But this will be the first US-based plant-touching business on the NASDAQ. So we already have, I think, Aurora's trading on the NASDAQ, but that's because it's Canadian-based.
They're all Canadian-based, yeah.
Right? This is the first US-based one. And it's because in their SEC filing, they said that they're going to cooperate with the blessing of the federal government. So they've had some they already received a conditional approval from the US DEA.
So hold on, let me get this straight. Are they going to get listed on the NASDAQ? Or are they not going to get listed on the NASDAQ?
So there's still a few inspections for
Right.
final approval, but they've received conditional approval from the Drug Enforcement Agency of the US.
Is the stock running right now?
Not yet. No, this is something for the radar.
Pre-buy the rumor.
This is
Before the rumor.
just keep BGXX on your radar.
BGXX, so that's OTC.
I think they're anticipated to list. It's like they have a $600 million market cap.
Interesting.
So just something to put on the radar. Just because in the SEC filing they are saying that they're going to be fully compliant with all federal. It's just the fact that they had that USDA conditional approval to that.
Right.
Doesn't happen with any company.
No. That's interesting.
So it's kind of big. So
I didn't catch that. That's a good pickup.
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, am I investing in cannabis stocks right now? The answer is no. But if you like this space and you want to be bullish on it, the things to look for are the potential midterm ballot election plays. Keep your eye on the SAFE Act as well. The MORE Act, I think that's not going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. It's the SAFE Act, right? That's the one kind of piece of bullish news you want to look at.
Yeah, that's the institutional money rolling through.
Are you buying weed stocks right now?
No, I'm not buying weed stocks. All my money's in crypto. No, I'm kidding. There has been some sectors that we have talked about in our previous plays, like the incoming food crisis.
Cybersecurity.
Right? There's some really good plays in there because just because you haven't heard about it yet doesn't mean it's not about to happen. And we nailed the wartime stocks one a month before the war started.
Yeah, we fucking
every single one of those stocks are up like 60, 70, 80%. We had some green energy stocks that are freaking ripping right now. So after my analysis, I'm going to kind of stay away. I still have my core holdings in TrueLeaf.
Yeah.
I'm going to let that ride.
For sure.
But in terms of what you were saying, I might look to a Sundial or a Tilray if we start to see some AMC or GameStop movement again, or some discussions around possible rumors of one of these acts passing.
For sure. So right now, I think we're on the sidelines in the cannabis stock sector. But as Josh mentioned, if you're looking at a sector for stocks that's going to get hot, go watch our food stocks episode. Those are going to rip this year. If you don't like that, go watch the green energy stocks. There's tons of good sectors that we cover. Yeah. And if you really want to get you keep your finger on the pulse, you got to join the Discord because we're posting about different stocks, different sectors every day. Right now, maybe chill with the cannabis stocks though.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
All right. Hey, it's been a really good episode. Make sure you tune into the next episode.
That one's going to be a banger.
All views expressed by speakers on the Bean Pod are solely their opinions. You should not treat any opinion expressed on the Bean Pod as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a specific strategy, but only as an expression of their opinion. This podcast is for informational purposes only.